All right, so I'm feeling a little lazy. I've been asked about doing a write-up about loot components. So today I'm going to do hopefully a brief and not confusing video on composite armor and the loot that goes into it, or at least some of the loot, some of the things I'm asked the most. So we're going to start off with, the composite segments. So when you go into your composite segment, it's comprised of your resources, pretty basic. And then you have 3 layers for protection. Those can be anything from, you can put kinetic in there, stun, etc. And those would put whatever you put in there into special protection. So if you wanted to go the 80% kinetic, that would happen here. If, the 38% stun, etc., would happen in these 3 layers. So as far as layers go, what also can go in there is the impure Beskar. And as you can see here, like this one will, reduce the encumbrance by -11 for every one of these I use in this segment. And it'll also add 11% effectiveness to it. So that's kind of sick when you think about it. And then also we have, Night Sister layers will also go in here. And I don't have any Night Sister layers on hand right now, but, ideally if you're making like a Night Sister armor, it would have like, you'd want something with 6% or greater, because right now a crafted, like we'll take this here. If you look here, this crafted layer, this is an electric layer. It has 4%. Right now, 4% is the highest on a craft. And so if you loot a Night Sister layer, you want 6% or better. 6% is probably the lowest you want to go. Because at some point, we're going to probably craft 5%. But 6% would be the lowest you'd want to go on a looted Night Sister layer if you wanted to add it to these. So as far as this last piece here, if we take a look, what can go into that is a Night Sister shard, and that'll further lower your encumbrance, or a Janta hide. Now, what makes a Janta hide special is if I do this whole process up here, with my basic craft, right now I'm hitting 67% on base armor. So if I add this hide to it, it'll add another 7%, bringing it up to, I believe, my math might be a little off, but I think 74%, roughly. So that's a big deal there. Now, and if you end up having, higher end Night Sister shards in here, that further increases it. So keep in mind that loot. What I recommend when you're going out and getting your loot for this, especially if you want to use Night Sister shards, and let's say you want stun armor. What I would do is I'd put 10% stun in this one, and then in these 2, I'd put Night Sister layers. What I always recommend to people is between these layers, and if you want to hide in here, you want a stack of each for each one of these slots. And that'll make more sense here when we get to the next step. The reason I say that is you're going to want like a stack of 5, a stack of 5, and a stack of 5. Because I have to make a schematic out of it. And so the bigger the stack you have of loot, the bigger the schematic I can make. Because composite armor, you need multiple segments for one piece of armor. So you might want to get a pencil for the next step, because we're going to talk about how many segments each piece needs. And that's going to be important when you're trying to figure out these stacks. So again, if you go in for a Night Sister armor, you're going to want 2 stacks of Night Sister layers of equal value or close to it, and either another stack of Night Sister shards or hides, Janta hides, if you depending on if you want to go for lower encumbrance or a higher base. And the higher your base is, the better you got a chance of slicing a 90. So let's back up, and we will look at a piece of armor here. We're going to go one section at a time. So we're going to get into the arms here. There's nothing special here. Once you get to this part, like all the magic happens in the segment. Once you get here, what's important to know is all the arm pieces, whether you want bracers or biceps. If you look here, they all take 2 identical segments. So this is where the stacks of loot become important, because, you know, all arms, all 4 pieces of arm, take 2. Now you come down here, your chest will take 4. And then after chest, you know, if you want feet, feet will also take 2. You know, nobody gets hands. If you really want a hands, you know, I can make them for you. Hands actually only take 1. So if we have a loose one there and you really want to pick some hands, okay, I'll make you some hands. Head takes 3. Legs also take 3. So you need 3. So in essence, you need a 4 stack of whatever loot you want put into that. You know, and then I can craft it up. So, you know, I hope that's clear as mud. I'm going to do another video later this week, and we will go over RIS. RIS will be a little bit more in depth. It involves a lot more loot, and we'll have to just kind of go from there and see what we can do as far as breaking that all down, because there's a lot of questions about RIS that people have, and I'm hoping I can clear a lot of that up. So I hope this was helpful, and if you guys have any further questions, just, you know, ask, and we can go from there. All right, thanks.